Our story begins with King Vegeta and Vegeta having just entered the hyperbolic time chamber, with King Vegeta still acclimatizing to the new conditions. He looks down at his hands and says, "The gravity, it's heavier than before. This armor suddenly feels less flexible. The air too, it's thinner. It's harder to breathe here as a result. I can see why this place would be good for training. But will this really make that much of a difference to bridge the gap between me and you, son?" Vegeta looks back at his father with a smirk and says, "Oh, father, the gravity in here is meaningless. I'm surprised you can even feel it. When I train, I'll be moving freely at over 1,000 times Earth's gravity." "What? 1,000 times gravity?" King Vegeta immediately reacts in complete shock, continuing, "If that's the case, why are we wasting our time in here? There's no way my body could handle gravity like that. Son, I appreciate you and Kakarot's wishes, but I just can't see how I'll be able to catch up to you so fast. You youngsters have simply gone to heights that can't be gapped by just training for a year." Vegeta, however, just looks back, still smiling, finding his father's outburst comedic, saying, "Silence, father! I don't remember you being so pessimistic. There is more to training and getting stronger than being under higher gravity. This place has certain special features that put your body under infinitely more stress than just gravity. Behold, allow me to show you the power of the hyperbolic time chamber." Vegeta then closes his eyes before suddenly we see him engulfed in flames, shocking King Vegeta as he does it. "What the? Vegeta?" Vegeta yells in anger, screaming, "Ah!" causing the flames to instantly grow in intensity as the sky darkens to black. King Vegeta looks up, noticing the changes in the environment, atmosphere and pressure surrounding, before looking at Vegeta with complete confusion as his son becomes a walking mess of intense hellfire. He comments, "Vegeta, what is going on? Am I dreaming? How do I stop this, son?" Before immediately, the hellfires grow so intense, they begin to affect King Vegeta too. "This heat! He must be burning alive in there!" Suddenly, as quickly as they appeared, the flames vanish, leaving Vegeta in a cloud of smoke and condensation caused by the extinguishing of the flames. Not only that, King Vegeta notices the air has suddenly got colder. He comments, "What is this place? I've never seen anything like this. The whole area is changing at a moment's notice. This must be what Vegeta meant about the hyperbolic time chamber's special abilities." But as the smoke clears, King Vegeta is left even more shocked, seeing his son now completely encapsulated in a frozen block of ice as snow falls from the sky. He screams, "Vegeta!" thinking his son has been frozen alive, unable to escape. But before he knows it, he too is frozen instantly, but quickly breaks out. This time angry with how confusing the situation is. "Vegeta, what the hell is going on? This isn't what I'd call training. This room is malfunctioning. We need to get out, now!" But as he says this, Vegeta explodes from the ice, now transformed into a Super Saiyan 2, stunning King Vegeta in the process. "This power! So this is the Super Saiyan 2! I remember this from before. This is indeed far more powerful than the Super Saiyan transformation. Your energy is on another level now!" "Don't be so awestruck, father. This is the first transformation of many you need to master while in here. We only have a year to do this, and if you want to do this fast, you're gonna need to be able to master the usage of the hyperbolic time chamber. What you just experienced, from flames to ice cold snow, are reflections of my own mind and convictions to get stronger. The hyperbolic time chamber is a dimension that molds to the user's mind. Here I can channel my natural Saiyan rage and thoughts to create any landscape I desire, the intensity of which is dependent on just how much I desperately want to ascend. Here, and only here, will you be able to reach deep within your mind and pull out the necessary rage to transform. This won't be as simple as when you became a Super Saiyan, Father. Give it a try. I don't expect you to go stronger on just the first day, but show me just how much attaining greater power means to you. Think deeply about what that ultimate power will feel like. Envision it already in your grasp, and imagine who you will take down first once you have gained that ultimate power. King Vegeta then heeds his son's words and responds, I see. I didn't expect all of that was your doing, son. I guess I couldn't have expected any less from you. I think I understand. I will visualize my greatest desire, and the power of the gods both you and Kakarot have gained. And with that, King Vegeta then closes his eyes and reflects just like Vegeta. But it soon becomes apparent very fast, not all reflections are created equal, as King Vegeta inexplicably imagines his ultimate power as that of a god of destruction, and his ultimate aim to just defeat Bardock with ease the next time he sees him. All this while Vegeta watches on to see what kind of ferocious change in atmosphere his father causes. As King Vegeta continues these petty thoughts, suddenly droplets of rain fall from the sky, a phenomenon Vegeta has never even seen before in the chamber. He looks down at his hand as the delicate droplets fall onto his glove, a far cry from the flames and arctic winds he expected. He immediately gets angry, yelling, "What the hell is this? Is this supposed to be the limit of your Saiyan rage? This is how much you want power? I didn't take you here to get a free shower. What kind of pathetic excuse for a Saiyan King are you? Just how on earth are you ever going to get revenge on Frieza when this is all the rage and conviction you can muster?" Frieza? Immediately on hearing the words of Frieza still being alive, King Vegeta opens his eyes in shock before his face transitions to that of complete anger. Vegeta! What are you talking about? Revenge on Frieza? You told me Kakarot already took care of that monster and avenged all our people. I even declared him the new king. What are you saying, son? Spit it out! Vegeta then, with a cocky smile, now sensing his father's rage building, responds, Now I'm starting to see the real Saiyan side of you, father. The truth is, he did, father. Kakarot was indeed the first Saiyan to become a Super Saiyan and defeat Frieza. But what I didn't tell you is that he later was the same Saiyan to revive the Frieza that enslaved his people. And right now, Frieza is out there in our universe, somewhere, doing exactly what he was doing all those years ago. Only this time, his power is even greater, even as strong as the Super Saiyan gods. I didn't tell you till now, because I wanted you to be the one to finish him off for good. But it looks like it's had an added effect. King Vegeta's rage is completely apparent as the mood suddenly shifts. He begins. That vile creature Frieza lives! My murderer, the kidnapper of my own son, the annihilator of my entire racing kingdom, revived by that fool Kakarot, that traitor. I will never forgive either of them. They'll both pay for their actions. And as he says this, veins begin to pop out of the king's head as he finally enters a mode of complete primal rage. King Vegeta loses himself to the anger, his pupils disappearing as a violent surge of ki begins to engulf him. Immediately as this happens, the atmosphere of the chamber thickens and thunder and lightning is seen for the first time inside. The powerful electrical waves crash to the ground all around King Vegeta and hit the ground with surprising force, causing Vegeta to briefly worry as the situation takes a surprising turn. He thinks to himself, "Thunder? How is my father doing this? I've never seen this before, even once while training. His rage must have reached a new level none of us had tapped into before. I don't know if this will end well." And as he says this, as if predicting the future, a lightning bolt just narrowly misses Vegeta, as he's forced to continuously dodge a barrage of lightning which takes aim at him as if a conscious entity. Huh? What is this? It's attacking me and not father. Is he controlling this? As Vegeta dodges at super speed thinking he's safe, from behind he's finally clipped, sending him flying to the ground as more lightning strikes all around him. With his armor damaged and him temporarily crippled on the ground, he looks up to see his father continue to power up in rage as if never ending, and thinks once again, "This is bad. Just how much power has my father built up? If I don't stop this now, this lightning could destroy the time chamber's doors and trap us here forever." And to that end, gets up from the floor and yells, "Father, stop! That's enough! You'll destroy our only way out if you keep this up!" But unfortunately, this sudden outburst from Vegeta serves to only push King Vegeta even further beyond, as his insane ki explodes to envelop him. Vegeta shields his eyes as the brightness of the King's ki surpasses that of even a solar flare. But as the light passes, the atmosphere returns to normal, and in a cloud of smoke, King Vegeta is enveloped once again. Vegeta eventually notices and comments, "The lightning. It's over. Did father hear my words?" But as he wonders, the silhouette of King Vegeta begins to emerge from the smoke, and reveals a Super Saiyan 2 King Vegeta, who through sheer anger and rage inconceivably managed to jump from stage 1 Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 in the space of 24 hours. With a smirk on his face, King Vegeta comments, "So, you say you didn't expect me to do this on the first day, huh? Well, allow me to prove to you once again to never underestimate the King of the Saiyans, son. Now, let's begin this so-called hard training of yours." Vegeta looks back completely stunned, thinking again to himself, This cannot be real! Is this the reason my father was chosen as king? Is he a true genius level Saiyan? His progress is unreal. To master Super Saiyan 2 so easily, he may have even more potential than Gohan. Kakarot wasn't lying. My father is dangerous. The story then shifts to the mountains where Goku is training under the watchful eyes of Whis. Ha! As Whis watches him from afar, Whis thinks, this training seems rather pointless without a partner. I wonder where Vegeta-san is. Oh, Goku-san, tell me why exactly you're training by yourself. You usually can't help but find a training partner to spar with. Is Vegeta-san busy with his daughter? Goku, however, then replies disappointedly, "No, he's training in the hyperbolic time chamber with his father, and I'm not allowed to join. He revived him a few days ago, and now I have no one to train with." Whis then replies, "He revived the King of the Saiyans? How interesting. I'm sure Lord Beerus will be very happy to hear that. They of course had quite the relationship in the past. I suppose you could call them friends." Whis then gets an idea and suggests, "Well, if Vegeta has done that and is busy now, why don't you do the same and revive your father, Goku-san? Admittedly, I would be quite interested in seeing who fathered the mighty Goku. Goku, however, anticipating already Whis might ask this, replies, yeah, Vegeta suggested I do that too, but we only just used the Dragon Balls recently, and then they told us a while ago that we shouldn't use the power of Shenron too often and so close together. He said something bad could happen if we do. Not sure what though. Whis then responds, well, that's unfortunate. But Goku-san, you do remember that I too can revive you mortals, right? I'm the one who revived Frieza for you at the Tournament of Power, so I can easily do the same for your father, if you wish. Goku immediately reacts, really? You would do that? That's awesome, Whis! Let's do it! Apparently, he's really strong. Just one problem though, I've never met him, so how can we find him? Whis then chuckles at Goku's naivety. Oh Goku-san, sometimes I think you forget I'm an angel. My staff will tell all. That's how I found you after all. Goku and Whis then look closely into the orb on Whis' staff as Whis mutters, so, where can we find the father of Son Goku? And slowly but surely, a blurred image soon appears, laying down on the rock peacefully sleeping. And a familiar looking figure with a recognizable haircut is seen. It is indeed the father of Goku, Bardock. Wow, there he is! So that's my dad. He really does look just like me. How crazy. I'm so pumped. Let's go now, Whis. And Whis quickly replies, as you wish, Goku-san. Beerus-sama is still sleeping anyway, so we have more than enough time. Hold on tight. And with that, Goku then places his arm on Whis' back, and instantly, Whis shoots off with a beam of light off the face of the planet. And eventually, after some time, they both arrive on the surface of Hell, right near the sleeping Bardock. Goku looks and says quietly, shh, Whis, there he is. Before walking over and abruptly shouting, hey Bardock, wake up already! In an instant, triggered by Goku's loud voice, Bardock reacts in the only way he knows how, and the beginning of a unique and strange family reunion is about to take place. Our story begins with Goku having just arrived in Hell, with Whis having just been attacked by his own father, who of course has no idea who he is. Whis immediately looks surprised, saying, oh my, so is this how you Saiyans greet each other? I have a feeling this may be much more interesting than I thought it would be. Goku, with sweat dripping down his face, replies, however, not quite. This is definitely not how I imagined meeting my dad for the first time. But I tell you what, that punch was strong. Bardock removes his fist from Goku's hand and steps back with a confusing face, saying, huh? Dad? Saiyan? What the hell are you talking about, punk? Who are you? And what made you want to approach me while I was asleep? Are you some kind of pervert? Goku understandably looks completely bemused at the words that just came out of his father's mouth, with him quietly replying, did my dad really just say that on the very first time he met me? Somehow, I don't think this is what happened when Vegeta met his father. Goku's face then gets serious and says, listen, my name is Goku. I'm a Saiyan from Earth, and I am your son. It's nice to finally meet you, Dad. Bardock, on hearing this, is momentarily a bit shocked after hearing the word Earth, as he remembers that Gine and him programmed Kakarot's ship to go to Earth over 30 years ago. He says, a Saiyan from Earth? It couldn't be! My son could never be you. You look like a weakling. You don't even have a tail. Not to mention, you look nothing like me. Meanwhile, Whis looks on at the two literally identical figures awkwardly listening on as Bardock refutes his son looking like him. He comments with a smile, "Really? He thinks he looks nothing like him. I think I can see where Goku-san got his intelligence from. How interesting." Goku, who inexplicably actually agrees with Bardock, then smiles and says, "Fair enough. I guess you're right. We don't actually look a lot like each other. Your hair is a lot weirder. And it's true. I may not have my tail anymore, but I'm no weakling, Dad. I'll prove to you I'm a Saiyan, and your son. The only way a Saiyan knows how." And following saying these strong words, Goku then gets into fighting stance, ready to really settle this like a Saiyan. "Let's go, Bardock. I tell you what, if you can beat me, I'll leave you to sleep as much as you want. But if I win, you have to accept me as your son and hear me out, okay?" Bardock, surprised at the response but of course excited, smiles and gets into his own fighting stance saying, "An Earthling beating a Saiyan? Get real! That planet is full of weaklings and you're no different. But I admire the courage. I'll take that offer. But don't blame me if you end up staying down here forever. Saiyans only fight to the death." And Goku, happy that his father and him can finally trade blows, replies, "No problem. Give it your best shot." And without warning, Bardock immediately rushes in. And Goku reciprocates by rushing in too. Immediately, both hit each other as if moving in tandem. With the two damaged, Goku smiles and thinks to himself, "Wow, he hits even harder than King Vegeta. This is definitely my dad." And again, at the same time, the two trade a kick this time. Watching from below, Whis can notice all of this and comments, "This is very, very interesting to watch. He fights shockingly similar to Goku-san. Their timing is almost completely in tune. It may be a long shot, but Bardock-san may have the same kind of potential." Following this, Goku then flies up into the air, and Bardock, noticing this, then comments, "What's this? Is the Earthling scared and realizing what he's got himself into? Don't think you can escape me. Your life ends here." Immediately, then flies up following him. Before Goku, noticing his father taking the bait, smiles and says, "If you're going to call me an Earthling, let's see how you handle some Earthling techniques." Bardock then reaches just behind Goku, and Goku slowly mutters, "You can thank Tien Shinhan for this one," before suddenly turning around in an instant, shocking Bardock. Solar Flare! Instantly bringing out a long-forgotten move to unleash an incredible flash of light. Bardock, who has never seen anything like this, looks straight into the light, taking it point blank, and immediately is left blinded, shouting, "Ah! What the hell was that? Ah! I can't see! My eyes!" Goku, who is impressed with his own quick thinking, smiles, thinking back to when he first used this on Vegeta too. Ha! Looks like what worked on Vegeta back in the day works on all Saiyans. I should have used this on King Vegeta too. But anyway, this match is mine, Dad. And immediately taking advantage of the situation, Goku rushes in for one final punch. Ha! But something strange happens while Bardock's eyes are closed. And completely unexpectedly, Bardock dodges Goku's punch without even looking. Immediately, Goku is caught completely off guard. He looks on at his father wondering, "What the? Was that just a fluke? Try and dodge this!" He immediately proceeds to rush in once more. Yeah! But yet again, Bardock, still blind, dodges the attack instantly. At this point, Whis, who is still watching on, is now shocked himself, commenting, "Bardock-san, is this what I think it is? This trip has turned into quite the amazing development. need to watch on. Goku, however, has gotten pretty irritated at this point, confused at how he can't even touch Bardock now, and remarks, "What is going on here? A minute ago there was barely any difference between us in our base forms, and now suddenly he can make a fool of me with his eyes closed? I'm just gonna have to finish this in Super." Immediately, Goku unleashes a barrage of attacks, now as a Super Saiyan, but nothing changes. Every single attack is dodged perfectly and consistently, which at this point leaves Goku shocked and open-mouthed. Whoa! Bardock! This shouldn't be possible. These movements. This definitely is. However, while Goku contemplates and figures out what he's witnessing, Bardock suddenly regains his vision and opens his eyes. And immediately in a rage, rushes in to attack the first object he sees. But with Goku in his Super Saiyan form, the punch does absolutely nothing, as if punching a solid wall. Bardock's face is understandably shocked, but before he can even take in the fact Goku's now blonde, Goku vanishes before him. Huh? Where did he go? And immediately behind Bardock, Goku appears and strikes Bardock immediately, this time still thinking that Bardock may dodge, however, he doesn't. Bardock instead immediately crashes down to the ground in probably the hardest attack he's ever faced. Meanwhile, is a perplexed Goku who comments, "Huh? Why didn't he dodge that one? I might have gone too far with that one. I hope he's okay. Damn it! Some son I am!" And laying on the ground completely incapacitated is Bardock, who can only think to himself, "What was that power? This kid, he can't be an Earthling. Is he really my son? It feels like I've just been hit by a planet. Ah!" Slowly but surely, Bardock gets to his feet and continues talking with deep breaths, saying, "This brat is definitely a Saiyan with power like that, but there's something different about him." But suddenly, Bardock gets a closer look at Goku and realizes his change in appearance. Huh? Wait a minute, what happened to him? Is this some kind of transformation? How bizarre. This must be just like that bright light from earlier. Just another strange Earthling magic trick. Imagine a Saiyan of blonde hair. How unfitting. But that's my son. After saying this, Bardock finally reflects after all these years on the events that preceded this moment, saying, "So, Kakarot, it is you. You survived planet Vegeta, just like we hoped. Just like Gine wanted. If only she was here to see this. I'm glad. I've got to meet you, son, and learn you aren't a total weakling. But I'm afraid, my son or not, we're in a fight, and this isn't over until it's over." Bardock then rushes in at Goku, who is emotionless, unaware that he is a Super Saiyan, and is immediately outclassed and stopped in his track with just 2 attacks. Goku, now realizing that when Bardock's eyes are open there is nothing to fear, looks to Whis and yells, "Hey Whis, you saw what I saw, right? Do it." And Whis, as if already knowing exactly what Goku wants then, replies, "Yes, Goku-san, I saw it. Your father sure is an interesting fellow, if this is what I think it is. We'll find out for sure now." And immediately from Whis' staff, a strange lightning bolt hits Bardock and immediately envelops him. My eyes! Where am I? I can't see! Not this again! What have you done to me, evil sorcerer? Goku, with his request seemingly complete, then rushes in at Bardock once more, and just as he expected, Bardock this time dodges. Yeah! He carries on just to be sure as intensely as he can, but not even a single blow can land on Bardock. With his prediction confirmed, Goku looks towards Whis with a smile thinking, "It's just as we thought, Whis. I don't know how, but my dad can do it too." And Whis, also smiling at this incredible surprise, then zaps Bardock once more. Suddenly, Bardock can see again as his pupils return, but with this being the second time he lost his sight, he is completely enraged. You're not getting me with your tricks a third time! I'm taking you both down now! Rushing towards Goku, who just stands still. But instantly, Goku disengages Bardock and goes back into his base form saying, "Alright, hold it there. That's enough for today, Dad." He then looks at his father with a smile and says, "You're a really amazing guy, Bardock. I'm really glad I finally got to meet you." He then, without warning, moves to hug his father for the first time, shocking Bardock as he does it. Huh? Kakarot? With a brief tear coming from his face, Goku tells his father, "This fight was incredible. I'm always going to remember this. I know about everything you and Mom sacrificed to save me. I just want to say, I'm sorry I didn't come and see you sooner." But Bardock, understanding his son's feelings, smiles gently, rubbing Goku's head, and replies, "It's okay, Kakarot. I'm just happy you're still alive, and I'm proud to see how strong you became, even on Earth. There's nothing to be sorry about. Your timing couldn't have been better. Now, why don't you introduce me to your friend over there? After blinding me with his magic, I have a few choice words I could say to him." And with this, the two then fly over to Whis. They then arrive before Whis, who was watching from afar this whole time, and then Whis proceeds to walk over to them, instantly courteously introducing himself saying, "Hello, Bardock-san. My name is Whis. I am Goku-san's master on Earth. It's nice to finally meet the father of one of my finest students." Immediately, Bardock is taken aback by Whis' words. "Wait, Kakarot? This evil sorcerer is your master? No wonder you had that strange transformation. Whatever. What made you two come here and seek me out anyway?" And Whis replies saying, "Well, Goku-san is in need of a training partner on Earth, and seeing your fight, I can tell you will be a fine opponent for him as his father. What I'm saying is, I have the power to revive you." "What? Power like that truly exists?" Immediately, Bardock is in complete shock, having never heard of any such phenomenon before. Whis, in an effort to calm Bardock, then explains, "Yes, Bardock-san, I can bring you back to the living world. I am no evil sorcerer, and there is nothing to fear. I am an angel, and far beyond any of the beings of the other world here. I am not limited by the same rules, and I can bring you back to life at any moment, but only if that is what you truly wish. So I must ask you one last time, would you like to accept my offer?" Bardock thinks for a moment and questions back, "But why me? Kakarot is clearly far stronger than me in every way. My punches couldn't even do a thing to him once his hair turned blonde. I was practically a punching bag for him. Honestly, as much as I'd like to help you, son, I would just be wasting your time." Goku, however, then walks over and tells Bardock, "No, Dad. I think me and Whis noticed something strange when I was fighting you. Your potential is insane. I almost can't believe it, but you might have unknowingly mastered a certain technique that's taken me a whole lot longer. Well, almost at least." Bardock then looks back confused and replies, "A certain technique? What are you talking about? How does one technique mean I could be a good training partner for someone like you?" Listening to Bardock's disbelief, Whis then finally intervenes and says, "That certain technique your son mentions, that technique is called Ultra Instinct, Bardock-san. A technique that puts you far beyond even a god. A technique that puts you at the same level as angels. And you seem to already be a natural at it." What? And just like that, Bardock's whole life and future is about to be changed forever. Our story begins after Whis has just told Bardock that he may be using Ultra Instinct without knowing. Bardock replies, "Ultra Instinct? What the hell is that? I've been fighting my whole life and never been told I was secretly an angel. Why the hell am I in hell then?" Goku then responds saying, laughing, "Dad, you're not an angel. You're still a Saiyan, rest assured. Ultra Instinct is a technique used by angels, Dad. It allows your body to move without thinking. It's extremely hard to do, especially for Saiyans like us. I'm not sure how, but just then while I was attacking you, you were dodging everything, even though you were completely blind. Your body was moving and reacting on its own, matching my own movement and energy. The only other person I've seen it do it so easily is Whis himself." Huh? Understandably, Bardock looks back at Goku with a shocked face saying, "Really? I had no idea what was going on. All I could see was darkness. I was focusing on getting my sight back. I wasn't even aware you were attacking me. Cowardly move, Kakarot." Bardock then turns to Whis and continues, "But why is this even happening to me? Something I'm not even aware of doing is important enough you want me to train with Kakarot?" Whis looks with a smile and just says, "That lack of awareness, Bardock-san, that, my dear friend, is exactly what we call Ultra Instinct. And not just any Ultra Instinct, Bardock-san. Judging by the fact you had no idea what your body was doing and there was no change in your appearance either, you were using it at an even higher level than that of your son, Goku. I say this because when Goku uses Ultra Instinct, he must purposely focus his mind and attempt to utilize the technique. Whereas for me and yourself, we are constantly exhibiting Ultra Instinct in our natural forms. Just with a caveat, with you, it seems you need to lose sight currently to do so." Bardock looks back shocked saying, "I'm at a higher level of Ultra Instinct than Kakarot? But wait, are you saying I need to be blind in order to use this power?" Thinking that this is the only way to use Ultra Instinct, Bardock then crosses his arms and dismissively says, "If I'm honest, I don't need these silly tricks if it means I lose my sight. Besides, if Ultra Instinct means I have to have that silly blonde hair, then count me out. You won't catch me dead sporting multicolored hair like a woman." And with that, Goku looks awkwardly on, muttering, "Multicolored hair like a woman?" Before Goku smiles with a hand behind his head and says, "I feel like there's a lot that's going to shock you today, Dad. But one thing I'll say is, that blonde-haired form you saw me in wasn't Ultra Instinct. That was what we call a Super Saiyan." Huh? Super Saiyan? Bardock immediately is shocked, continuing, "That can't be. How would you even know about that? You left Vegeta as a baby." Following this, Bardock then thinks back to his final moments on planet Vegeta, and how Frieza destroyed it because he was afraid of a certain legend, the legend of the Super Saiyan. He thinks in his head, "This brat must be mistaken. Kakarot was born with one of the lowest power levels of all the Saiyan babies. He may be strong now, but the Super Saiyan was said to be even stronger than Frieza. Surely Kakarot couldn't be." Bardock then questions Goku with a serious face and asks him, "Kakarot, What exactly do you mean by Super Saiyan? Are you trying to tell me you're the legendary warrior that comes every 1,000 years? This isn't a joke, son. And Goku just confidently responds with a smile saying, I don't know about every 1,000 years, but what I will tell you, Dad, is I am a Super Saiyan. And I beat Frieza also. What? You beat Frieza? I don't believe it. The Emperor of the Universe that not even King Vegeta could land a hand on. This is nonsense! But Goku then suddenly transformed into a Super Saiyan before saying, Believe it, Dad. It was in this very form that I ended Frieza's tyranny over the universe. And this isn't even the limit of a Super Saiyan. Huh? Bardock looks on now for the first time, properly looking at his son's form, and thinks to himself, This power, this form, this is the Super Saiyan? What could possibly lie beyond this? And immediately Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, yelling, What lies beyond this, Dad, is what we call a Super Saiyan 2. Bardock at this point can't even believe what's happening and looks back with a shocked face saying, What am I seeing? What is this electricity surrounding him? Suddenly, Bardock himself is suddenly hit by a stray lightning bolt from Goku's aura, leading Bardock to continue, What power? There's no doubt about it. My son defeated Frieza! Oh, Dad, you haven't even seen anything yet! And following this, Goku's hair grows out completely as he becomes a Super Saiyan 3. What? Bardock wheels back this time in even more shock, but something other than the power is what's shocking him. He yells, This can't be! Raditz! Is that you? Causing Goku to then look back with an unimpressed face muttering, not the reaction I was expecting, Dad. No, I'm not Raditz. This is the form even beyond Super Saiyan 2. We call this a Super Saiyan 3. Bardock looks back bemused. He can't even comprehend how different Kakarot now looks and the level of power he has reached. Staying quiet, as he quite literally is speechless now. Goku continues, What's wrong, Dad? Cat got your tongue? I'm nowhere near finished showing you what else I can do. And in an instant, Goku's ki disappears, leaving him in his Super Saiyan God form, telling Bardock, and we call this a Super Saiyan God. But even this has another stronger version. And just like that, Goku appears before Bardock as a Super Saiyan Blue, the Super Saiyan version of a Super Saiyan God, all in front of a Saiyan who up until this day was clueless over even what a Super Saiyan was. Bardock in complete awe now falls back onto the floor with a thud as he looks up at his godly son, saying quietly, Kakarot? This presence? Just who are you now, Kakarot? What monstrous powers did you gain on Earth, son? Goku, however, sensing his father's fear now, powers down finally and extends his hand saying, Dad, let's just say I've been through a lot over the years. But don't worry, power like this is not unattainable for someone as talented as you. Now give me your hand. It looks like you need some help. Bardock looks back warily, still reeling slightly in shock from what he's just witnessed, but does take in the words of his son, thinking to himself, This power, I too could do this one day? Before grabbing onto Goku's hand to be pulled up. Huh? But as he looks up, Goku is now in his final form. With white hair and silver eyes, Goku has entered his mastered Ultra Instinct. looking back at Bardock with a smile before saying, "And this is my version of Ultra Instinct." Bardock looks back with both a sense of awe and confusion, quietly saying, "So, this is Ultra Instinct. It feels so strange, so calm and understated, yet I can feel the immense power and confidence you now have. But there is one question on my mind, Kakarot. How come you can see in this form while I can't? This doesn't seem fair at all." Whis, after hearing Bardock's comedic reaction, then laughs, saying, "Oh, Bardock-san, right now it seems your body only moves on its own when you yourself aren't in control. When you fight normally, your mind makes too many decisions, just as expected of a Saiyan. But when blind, it seems through a natural gift and talent, your body reacts on its own out of self-defense, since you are not able to see and react yourself. I'll be honest, I've never met a case just quite like you before, Bardock-san, but I think with enough guidance, you too could master Ultra Instinct while still being able to see. After all, your son did it, so like they say, like father, like son." Hearing this, Bardock thinks to himself, so I fight better when I'm not even trying. I don't know whether to feel embarrassed or happy about that. And Whis continues finally, "So now that you know about the talent that you have and what me and Goku are offering, what do you say, Bardock-san? Would you like to come train with us?" While Bardock is thinking on Whis' question, he looks over to Goku and notices him pleading. "Please, Dad? It'll be fun, I promise." Which Bardock just awkwardly smiles back, thinking in his head, "Kakarot seems to really want me to train with him, despite my weakness. But as much as I'd like to, I can't unless..." And with a solemn and serious face, Bardock then addresses Whis and says, "I can't say for sure just yet what my answer will be, but if you answer my next question, it'll go a long way to help me make my decision. Whis, through one way or another, you obviously were able to find me here in Hell in an instant, but after all these years, I've never been able to find my wife, Gine. Until the end of time, I promised myself that I would not stop looking until I either found her down here or was convinced she was elsewhere. Whis, if she's still down here, I can't go. I cannot leave her here alone in this godforsaken place, all by herself for eternity. Tell me now, where is she? Is she in heaven or in hell?" Whis, after a moment pondering Bardock's heartfelt words, then simply replies, "I understand, Bardock-san. But don't think you can fool me with your sorcery! You may be able to take my sight away, but I'll recognize the difference between a fake and real Gine sorcerer." Whis replies with a smirk saying, "No need to worry, Bardock-san. As an angel, I am bound by angelic laws to never lie or sin in any fashion. I could face erasure instantly for such a crime. I will look into my staff and see right now what happened to your wife." And after a brief pause, Whis shows Bardock a live feed of Gine and reveals, "Bardock-san, Gine-san is indeed in heaven. She has been given access to her body. She is happy and her soul is truly at rest. If you so wish, I can take you to see her immediately, but you would ultimately then need to return to Hell after." Bardock, however, finally after all these decades knowing the definitive truth, smiles back and says, "No, just knowing she's happy and in a better place than this dump is enough for me. For years, I was in pain wondering how she was coping without me in Hell, with nothing I could do about it. But now, I know the truth, and my soul too has been put to rest." He then looks at Goku and says, "Alright, Kakarot, you win. Let's go. Take me to Earth and show me how I too can get that weird grey hair of yours. And Goku looks back with a smirk, excited now at the prospect of spending time with Bardock, saying, "No problem, Dad, but first, there's something else we need to do." And just like that, Whis approaches the duo and then zaps Bardock once more. Huh? Making me blind again? But soon enough, Bardock then realizes his halo has disappeared, and for the first time in over 30 years, Bardock is alive once again. He comments, "That weird circle, it's gone. I guess it is true. You really did revive me. I guess you aren't too bad, evil sorcerer." And with he himself realizing his revival, he thanks Kakarot and Whis, and then gives them the go-ahead to then leave after taking one final look at Hell. And just like that, Whis, Goku and Bardock then shoot off from Hell, for hopefully the last time ever. Meanwhile, back in the hyperbolic time chamber, King Vegeta by now has fully gotten to grips with his new Super Saiyan 2 powers, and now fights on equal terms with his son. The two Royal Saiyans then look at each other with a smirk each, with King Vegeta commenting, "So, my son, I've lost count of how many months we've been in here, but surely this is a record for mastering in this form. I feel like I've got the edge over even you now." And Vegeta, however, replies, "As usual, overconfident and cocky at the slightest sight of power. Father, not even 1,000 years will allow you to overpower me, old man." Yeah! And suddenly, just as he finishes saying this, Vegeta flies in with a kick. But immediately, to even the king's surprise, he blocks it and with ease, smirking while commenting, "Day by day, your attacks feel weaker and weaker to me. This gap between us is closing fast, my young son." But following this, Vegeta then creates space, jumping with a smile before saying, "Oh really, father? Well, if my limbs have lost their effect on you, try this!" And immediately, as if in complete control of the environment, Vegeta causes ice to surround and attack King Vegeta, much to his surprise. What? He can bend the environment even while fighting? As King Vegeta struggles against the Arctic winds Vegeta created, he too then masters in the midst of battle the ability to use the hyperbolic time chamber's environment, and suddenly unleashes a column of intense hellfire that Vegeta dodges at the last second. Vegeta is left momentarily shocked as he realizes, huh? Father is picking things up unbelievably fast. He's growing stronger while literally fighting. He's just like Broly. Vegeta is then struck by a lightning bolt, again controlled by King Vegeta. Eventually, after some struggle, Vegeta escapes and flies directly into the air, and immediately powers up a signature move while saying, "Enough with this! Your improvement may be fast, but just as a Super Saiyan 2, you will never reach the level of gods in time. Just die here and save us both some hassle. Gallic Gun!" Immediately launching a full-powered beam at the unsuspecting King Vegeta. Huh? Vegeta! Aren't you going too far with this? Fine, so be it. I'll teach you to not underestimate the King of the Saiyans! Immediately grabbing the energy beam of Vegeta, holding it off as much as he can. But alas, the power of Vegeta and his advantage of firing from above proves just a little too much for the king as he slowly gets pushed back and back. In agony, he speaks to himself in his final moments. This power! I can't hold this anymore! There's no time to dodge, and when this hits, it will all be over. I just I just can't reach the level of these kids, even if I tried. Damn it! But as Vegeta fires from above, he yells down to his father in anger. Pathetic! You will never defeat anyone like this! Frieza will live on forever, getting away with everything, because of your weakness! You are no Saiyan King! Be gone! Before pushing even harder on his beam to finish off his father. But meanwhile, triggered by the words of Vegeta, King Vegeta immediately envisions the loss of his entire Saiyan family, his pitiful death, and the face of Frieza smiling through all of it callously. And with that, King Vegeta's rage is finally brought out, and deep within him, a new power emerges as King Vegeta's hair grows rapidly. And suddenly, out of nowhere, an energy beam blasts from his own hands, effortlessly pushing back on Vegeta's. Before instantly it reaches back to Vegeta and causes a massive explosion. Vegeta falls to the ground, and when he finally looks up, standing before him is the Super Saiyan 3 King Vegeta, who once again, against all odds, has ascended, leaving Vegeta near speechless, muttering, "Father, you did it! You did what even I couldn't!" So our story continues after King Vegeta has just transformed into a Super Saiyan 3 after being pushed to the limit by his own son. King Vegeta, who understandably is feeling shocked, looks down at his hands, covered in ferocious lightning, as he says, "So this is what a Super Saiyan 3 is! This form, it feels incredibly powerful, but I can already feel its toll. My energy is draining fast!" Meanwhile, standing in shock looking back at his father, Vegeta can't help but think of the parallels to Goku, and thinks, "Father, you did it! You ceased to amaze me. 3 months into our training, and you've already become a Super Saiyan 3! It took Kakarot 7 years in the other world to do the same. This kind of progress is unprecedented! Just how much further will my father be able to go?" Eventually, however, Vegeta's shock turns to pride as he gives off a smirk at his father and continues, "Impressive, father. I guess this is the kind of talent that's to be expected from the king of the Saiyans, compared to a low-level grunt like Kakarot." King Vegeta, however, eager to continue his training, disregards his son's compliments and then looks at Vegeta and tells him, "Vegeta, listen, this form is draining my energy fast. I haven't got long to maintain this. You transform into a Super Saiyan 3 now too, and let's see how my power compares before I power down." On hearing this, there is a long, awkward silence, which leaves the king confused. "What's the hold up, son? I said hurry up! I haven't got long." At this point, Vegeta is visibly embarrassed because he never bothered to learn how to become a Super Saiyan 3, and then just mutters, Well, about that, father, I can't." But King Vegeta, who couldn't hear Vegeta's muttering, puts his hand to his ears and yells, "What? Speak up! What are you saying, Vegeta? I didn't catch that!" And Vegeta, who is now trying to hold in his embarrassment and bite his tongue as much as he can, closes his eyes to calm himself down. But King Vegeta, who is completely oblivious, continues yelling, "Vegeta! Quickly! Transform into a Super Saiyan 3 at once! We haven't got all day!" Before eventually it becomes too much for Vegeta and he screams, "For the love of God! I don't know how to become a Super Saiyan 3, father! Are you happy now?" And following this emotional outburst, King Vegeta just looks on with an extremely awkward look on his face as yet another awkward silence then goes on. But before long, King Vegeta erupts in extreme laughter, saying, "What? You're joking, right? I've been alive for less than half a year, and you're saying I've already achieved a form you can't?" In a cocky face, the misinformed king then continues, "I guess it was only a matter of time before I surpassed you and Kakarot. I guess it shall be me training you now." At which point, Vegeta once again closes his eyes, but this time begins gathering up ki. Ki that no mortal could even sense. As he does this, he says confidently, "Train me? Oh father, you forget that I am no longer just another Saiyan. You forget, I am a god!" And just like that, Vegeta powers up, unleashing a massive amount of aura and ki in rage. Huh? This power? Why is it so intense, yet undetectable? This isn't a Super Saiyan transformation, is it? King Vegeta looks confused at what he's seeing, before suddenly a wave of aura pushes him down to the ground. This can't be a Super Saiyan 3. Where is all this energy coming from? He then just stares on as Vegeta's power continues to rise, and his transformation causes even more debris and smoke to push on to the king. Eventually, the light from Vegeta transforming then becomes so bright that even the Super Saiyan 3 King Vegeta needs to close his eyes, unable to look at it. He squirms. What kind of crazy transformation is this? Eventually though, King Vegeta opens his eyes, but what he sees surprises even him. He slowly gets up, and before him he sees his son, Vegeta, draped in a mysterious red aura. He mutters, "Son?" And standing before him is a Super Saiyan God Vegeta, emotionless as he looks at the lowly Super Saiyan 3 form of his father. He coldly says to his father, "So, you still think you surpassed me? Does it look like I need to be in that unsightly, eyebrowless form of yours? Don't make me laugh." "Vegeta, what are you doing?" In an instant, Vegeta then grabs the king by his throat, holding him into the air, before saying, "I don't know that form because I don't need that useless form, father. Not even Kakarot uses that anymore, for the precise reason it drains so much energy for so little reward. If you hadn't forgotten, the God forms are our goal here. The power of these forms is unmatched and can be maintained for much longer than that sad excuse for a transformation you're in. Stronger, faster, and best of all, none of that ridiculous overgrown hair to get in the way." King Vegeta looks back shocked, but still is unwilling to believe his new form is useless, replying, "Nonsense! I can feel the intense power of this form. Just because you can't do it, Vegeta, doesn't mean I need to believe your lies." Yeah! And with that, King Vegeta hits away Vegeta's hand from his throat and prepares to punch his son at point blank. But staring back at him is a confident and completely silent Vegeta. What a fool. And without warning, Vegeta completely dodges his father's fist and knees him in the solar plexus, causing the king to immediately fall to his knees and begin coughing up blood. Before forcefully having to power down. Vegeta then looks down at his father again, draped in his godly ki, and says, "You see, father, before a god, these mortal forms are nothing. Despite all that power, You merely appear to be moving in slow motion before my eyes. King Vegeta, still full of pride and unable to accept the truth, replies, however, No! This isn't over, Vegeta! I'm not done! But before he can even finish his sentence, he is punched to the ground viciously by his son, who cannot stand to hear another word of his insolence. In the end, from the final blow, the king is then left unconscious on the floor, next to the Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Vegeta looks down coldly, as if he knew this would be the outcome anyway, and proceeds to power down himself, before he then crouches down and says softly, You still have a long way to go, father, but you're definitely getting closer. And with that then picks his father up and starts walking back to the time chamber to rest, at which point during the walk, King Vegeta wakes back up and asks while confused, Vegeta, what happened? With Vegeta then replying, Nothing, father. You just experienced for the first time the power of a god. And with that experience, your next step will be to finally become one yourself. Meanwhile, back on the planet of Beerus, Whis, Goku and Bardock suddenly appear. And understandably, Bardock is slightly alarmed, questioning, Huh? Where are we? This is Earth? Kakarot! No wonder you have multicolored hair. Look how strange the planet you grew up on is! However, Whis is then quick to correct him, saying, No, Bardock-san, this is not Earth. This is the planet of Beerus the Destroyer, the god of destruction of Universe 7. What? God of destruction? Suddenly, Bardock is overcome with shock as he continues, But Beerus the Destroyer? I remember now. The stories among the Saiyans that such a being existed, who even King Vegeta bowed down to. He was said by some to even be stronger than the Emperor of the Universe, Frieza. And you're telling me this is where he lives? Wait a minute! Why have you brought me here, you evil sorcerer? Not your tricks again! Did you just revive me to have me destroyed for your amusement? Goku, however, then calms down his father with a smile, attempting to put him at ease, saying, No, Dad, it's nothing like that. It's a long story. Beerus isn't as scary as he sounds. He wouldn't harm a fly. He's kind of a friend. Don't worry, if he tried anything on you, I'd stop him. Bardock then lets off a sigh, trusting his son's words before replying, Of course, Kakarot. Only you would be dumb enough to be making friends with a god of destruction. Anyway, it's not like I have death to fear anymore. I already know what that's like. Whis, so is it Beerus or you who will be training me? I'll admit, I'm eager to master this Ultra Instinct. Whis, who is pleased with Bardock's enthusiasm, then begins, That's good to hear, Bardock-san, but as you know, Ultra Instinct is the ability to move without thinking, and that is no easy task. Even for a god, it is something that can take years, if not decades, to master. Beerus himself has not fully mastered it, though to be fair, he spends most of his time sleeping rather than training. But your son, Goku, has been able to do it in about a year, through the help of another angel though, known as Beerus. Bardock, then confused, says, What? Decades? Even just 10 years is far too long. Kakarot would have become an old man by then. So, I guess I too need to meet this Beerus guy. Another evil sorcerer. Just great. But where is he? I don't see anybody else on this silly pink planet. Whis then laughs and says, Unfortunately, young Beerus is no longer an angel. Ironically, in big part because of Goku-san. But he was my younger brother, and I can replicate the exact ways he taught Goku. As for the number of years it would take, I can speed that up too. And following that, Whis uses his staff to summon his own version of the time chamber pyramid that Beerus summoned for Goku, before then revealing, "Behold, Bardock-san, this is called the Pyramid of Power. Inside here, 2 years will appear as 1 day on the outside. Goku-san, when he trained with Beerus, used something similar, but Beerus' pyramid wasn't quite as powerful as this one. He was just an angel in training after all. I don't believe we'll need the full 2 years with your natural ability, Bardock-san, but with this and my personal training, I'm confident I can help you control your latent abilities, all before Beerus-sama wakes up from his nap." Following this, Whis calls Bardock into the pyramid and says, "Come, Bardock-san, we can begin our training now." And so Bardock follows, but so too does Goku. However, noticing out of the corner of his eyes, Whis stops Goku saying, "No, Goku-san, not you. Only 2 individuals at a time can ever enter the Pyramid of Power. Besides, I think we can agree you've had enough one-on-one time with angels. Coming alone would only hinder your father's development. Stay here, and in less than a day, we will return, and you will have a strong new fighting partner, I can promise you that." Goku, however, looks on very disappointed, saying, "Oh, what? Whis, you were the one who was helping me get a training partner, and now you're taking him away? No fair." Bardock, however, smiles and says, "Chin up, kid. I'm doing this so I can be a challenge for you. Wait for me, and I'll beat you to the ground when I'm back out. And this time, I'll be able to see." Goku smiles back, saying, "I like your confidence, Dad. Do your best. I'll be waiting on the other side." And with that, Bardock and Goku then fist bump one last time and give each other a smile. Following which, Bardock and Whis then enter the pyramid together, leaving Goku, and the door closes. Meanwhile, Goku is then once again left to his own devices and thinks in his head, now what do I do with the rest of my day? Maybe I should revive someone else. Nah, I think that's enough revivals for one series, Arj. Simultaneously in the Pyramid of Power, Bardock enters and is momentarily shocked as he sees nothing but white space. "What the? This is where angels train? There's nothing in here." And Whis replies with a smile saying, "Bardock-san, this is another dimension, not connected to the one we came from. One where we can both unleash our full powers without risk of harming the Earth." Bardock then says, "Whatever. So what's the first step of our training, Whis? You said it shouldn't take 2 years, so let's try and get this done in 1. Whis then smiles sinisterly and says, "The first step will be seeing how well you fare against me, Bardock-san. Prepare yourself!" Huh? Leaving Bardock stunned at the angel's proposal. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag Whis versus Bardock in the comments down below and let me know if you need part 9 right now, since as you know this story is completely produced and written by myself, and if you want to support my work you can do so by donating $3 to my Patreon, where not only will you get this manga but also 250 plus others to read forever for less than a cup of coffee. Links will be in the pinned comment and description for that, but if you're new to this story and want to see it from part 1, click on this playlist on the right now. Until next video, guys, cheers.